Gutierrez, what did you see last night from the comeback for the Rockets specifically?
Well, it makes me think it's not even like the Warriors are not on their game. Draymond Green is obviously having a bad half of a season so far. He might be able to turn it on. But just the idea that this Rockets team, with just James Harden as the centerpiece, again, no Chris Paul, what have you, with just James Harden and being that level of unstoppable. Like, this is the same type of stuff they said about Steph Curry. Why can't you beat that team? Oh, because you can't stop Steph. Oh, because the defense's eyes are all on Steph and other people get open. Well, when James is doing this, and he's going to continue to do this unless he gets hurt some way, because you saw that, right? He's going for that second MVP. If he keeps this up, they can beat anyone.
Yeah, we had that conversation yesterday. Like, that was a bad thing that he said he was going for the MVP. If he's going for the MVP, that's good for the Rockets. If he's the MVP, that would be a good thing for his team. Bill, I'm sensing you're going to say this was more about the Warriors last night because the Rockets can't prove anything.
Why are you sensing that?
Because the Rockets can't prove anything to you for 4 months from now, so this is only about the Warriors.
You sensed exactly correct. The Warriors are now 156-1 under Steve Kerr, and they've led by 20 points. This was a big loss for them. This is a kind of loss. This is a kind of, even though that I've been saying all year they can turn it on in April and May, this is a team that these kind of games, these teams usually get up for. They've never blown a lead like this before. It's the worst halftime blown lead in about 15 years in franchise history. They weren't helping on defense. They self-proclaimed that they got lazy. They weren't, trusting each other. A lot of ISO with Durant. Something's up with these guys now. This makes it official for me.
Do you agree with that? Can something be up with the team that's won the championships in the span that they have in January? Can something be up with them?
There is mounting evidence that the Warriors have indeed entered a new phase, as Bill suggests. I think no question now. Is it something which they cannot? No, absolutely. Is there something that they can't emerge from? No, not necessarily. And here's one other thing I want to throw out there. There's an X factor out there, and you know what it is. It's 7 feet tall. And sooner or later, Boogie Cousins is coming. I have no idea what state he'll be in, what effect he'll have, but it is not inconceivable that we'll have a very different discussion in April, and he'll have something to do with it.
Of course. We don't know what that is, but we'll continue to have this discussion. I'm going to bet we're going to have it before April. I bet we'll have it at the end of January, the start of February, the end of February, the start of March. Mute. There's something I got to talk about. It's this call, this missed call. It's just blowing my mind. This is the top 3 worst call or missed call I think I've ever seen in any sport. Durant set up residents out of bounds. Not only did he come close to reestablishing inbounds, he was clearly out of bounds. Couldn't be reviewed because no call was made to begin with. How big a problem is that for the NBA, Israel?
I mean, that is a terrible missed call, and it's just that. It's not a problem, it's not a trend. That right there is a horrible missed call. If you want to talk about a trend, it could be late in games or in overtime where referees get a little bit too comfortable because things can be reviewed. And so even though you're staring at something, you're thinking in the back of your head, oh, okay, wait, if it's closed, we'll review it. And so you overlook something as obvious as that. That was just a horrible call.
Frank, when you realize what was in play there, that led to what could have been the game-winning shot for the Warriors. 30 seconds left in the game. Does that have to be reviewable?
Yeah, and think about it. If Harden doesn't make that shot at the end, this is all we're talking about today is the Rockets really getting jobbed. I go back to what I've been saying before. In a situation like that, give the coach a challenge timeout. James Harden was all over it. James Harden knew that Kevin Durant was out of bounds. He could have turned to Mike D'Antoni, challenged that play. They challenge it. It's Rocket ball, tie game, 132, 28
I said this 2 weeks ago, though, when Harden had the 5-step travel that was missed as well. I mean, a referee should just go to a monitor and review it on his own and then beg for forgiveness later. Because once you realize and you're looking at the monitor and you see it's completely wrong, you can't be upset about that if you're the league, if they change the call because it was so wrong.